From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, bandits shoot imam, abduct worshippers in Katsina Mosque. Serap sues President Buhari, alleges failure to probe missing ecological funds. West African leaders meet in Abuja, decry unconstitutional change of government in sub-region. And rare anti-government protest turns deadly in Sirisueta city. Hello and warm welcome, I'm Zainab Bala. Terrorists numbering about 40 riding on motorcycles in the early hours of Friday invaded Garari village of Batsari local government area of Katsina State. The terrorists killed one person and abducted an unspecified number of people, including women and children. Abdullah Yamadi reports that the bandits also abducted an unspecified number of students who were heading to Government Day Secondary School, Garari, from Kukia village. At a press time, residents of Garari and Kukia villages were yet to confirm the number of victims from Friday's abductions. Some residents expressed worry over the increasing spate of kidnappings for ransom, cattle rustling and killing of innocent people. Now, while confirming the abduction of some residents, the chairman of Batsari local government area, Yusuf Yanji, however, debunked the allegation that students were abducted. Bandits have attacked a mosque in Maigamji village along Funtua Dandume Road, Funtua local government area of Katsina, disrupting Ishai prayer that was being observed by worshippers on Saturday. A former councillor of Maigamji ward in Funtua local government area of Katsina, Lowell Maigamji, said when the bandits came, they opened fire on two people, including the imam leading the prayers. He identified those shot as Malam Yusha'u, the imam, and Hussein Jamu, a worshipper, disclosing that they were both receiving treatment at a hospital in Funtua. He added that 4 of the abducted victims escaped from their captors while in transit. In a related development, at least 31 people were reportedly abducted in Karari and Kukia villages of Batsari local government area of Katsina State in the early hours of Friday. Now, the terrorists, which were said to number about 40 riding on motorcycles, invaded the village where they killed one person and abducted the people, including women and children. Earlier, we had Trust TV news reporter Abdullah Yamadi to give us an update on the attack, and this is what he had to say.
Well, the bandits have freed 3 minors and a 75-year-old man who were among the Karare abductees this morning. The 75-year-old man told Trust TV in a telephone chat that they were released by their abductors because he is too old and sick to withstand the harsh weather condition at the terrorist den. Secondly, the children who are less than 10 years old were exhausted and tired to continue the journey to the bandits' den. The old man also said the terrorists instructed him to inform the families of their victims that they can only accept ransom paid with the new redesigned Naira notes. The terrorists are also asking the villagers not to engage security operatives in the event of negotiation for ransom. Similarly, the bandits asked the old man to inform people of the area to disband any form of vigilante group provided security to them, or else risk heavy onslaughts on Karare and other neighboring communities. It is now important to know that it is clear about 5 students of Government Day Secondary School Karare among the 31 people abducted at the early hours of last Friday. When contacted, the chairman of Bazare Local Government Council, Yusuf Yenji, said efforts are ongoing to rescue the victims unhurt. So this is the situation at Karari, Kokia, and other neighboring villages in Bazare local government. The terrorists have done their worst, and the people are preparing to see how they can pay ransom. And the most difficult thing they are now asking is payment of ransom with the redesigned Naira notes, which is not yet in circulation. So this is the situation now on the ground.
Securing lives and property of the people cannot be sole responsibility of security agencies because of the changing phase of insecurity in Nigeria. One of the strategies adopted to check the rising insecurity is the setting up of Police Community Relations Committee in Bauchi State. Now, these committees have attained some level of success in collaborating with the police in stemming the tide of banditry and electoral offences. Trust TV's Adamu Imam completes the story.
Addressing security challenges with modern techniques cannot be the only strategy adopted within Nigerian communities to fight crime. There is a need to vary the approaches to fight crimes, and these police community relations committees want to know what to contribute to the structure put in place to tackle security challenges.
With them how to assist police for the general election coming in 2023. You know, nowadays it's not so easy to the police to do everything within the community alone. So that we should call all our people, all our another union who concerns security to come and sit together with them to assist police with what is happening now in Nigeria, especially what is happening with ANEC offices in Nigeria.
One of the key roles the committees play is obtaining secret information and alerting the police to take action without any delay.
People who are living within that area, we used to communicate with police. There are some people that we saw somehow around this area and this area. We want you to go and see what is going on there. That's the way that we used to assist them, not police alone. Even our emirs and chiefs who are living, or district head, or the one of that area, we used to send this report to them, written or verbally or through phone. We used to call them.
The Peace and Security Committee also plays a key role in checkmating criminal activities by cooperating with the security agencies in spite of their limitations.
Anytime there is some misunderstanding in some areas, our people used to call us. If they cannot be able to address the issue, we will take some additional members in our HELOCs. We go there and put our own best. The Peace and Security Committee here in Bauchi is a very well-known organization that are helping the security agencies in so many ways. Like those Sarasuka people in the past, they used to come out in mass and disturb people, snatching their assets, stealing their motorcycles, committing various types of offenses.
Meanwhile, the traditional security structure within various communities confirm that their role is only to identify flashpoint and hideout of criminals and make arrests. Our relationship with police is cordial, and the knowledge we acquired. We can easily identify suspects by their movement. They are kind of guilty persons at all times, especially a strange face, and their appearance differs like innocent people, while criminals are distinctive. The security structure operatives noted that only police security outfit has a sole mandate to be at hand during the forthcoming 2023 general electioneering process. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Federal Capital Territory Commissioner of Police, Babaji Sunday, has denied reports from some media platforms that there was an invasion of armed men on the Abuja residence of Senator Sani Musa representing Niger East Senatorial District. A statement on Sunday from the Police Public Relations Officer of the FCT Command, Josephine Ade, said the media outlets had failed to verify information in a bid to be perceived as breaking the news. The Commissioner therefore urged residents of the FCT to disregard the publication as the contents were false and targeted at causing unnecessary unrest amongst FCT residents. According to the statements, the CP had, in line with the directives of the Inspector General of Police, carried out strategic review of the security architecture in the FCT, with improved deployments where necessary. He, however, advised vigilance and advised citizens to report any suspicious or abnormal occurrences through designated numbers. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Sunday said its office in Imo State has been attacked once again. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, disclosed this in a statement. He said the attack on its office in the Oru West local government area of Imo State was attacked at about 4 a.m. on Sunday. The latest attack, he noted, comes barely 3 days after suspected arsonists invaded the Commission's office in Olu local government area. According to Okoye, Sunday's attack is the 7th of its kind on the facilities of the electoral umpire in 5 states of the Federation in the last 4 months. He added that the Commission is deeply worried about the consequences of what appears to be a systematic attack on its facilities across the country, on the conduct of elections in particular and electoral activities in general. The INEC National Commissioner noted that the attention of security agencies has been drawn to this latest incident for investigation and prosecution. Similarly, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has again assured Nigerians that the 2023 elections will be conducted despite attacks on its facilities. Within 3 weeks, 2 attacks were carried out on INEC local government facilities in Ogun and Osun. Although INEC said the Iteboin office was also attacked on Sunday, the police said fire gutted the facility. The Commission had lamented the spate of attacks on its offices, putting the number of INEC offices attacked by hoodlums at 50. The attacks were recorded in 21 states. According to Okoye, the electoral umpire is working closely with security agencies to forestall a reoccurrence of attacks on its facilities. He stated that security agencies have beefed up in the INEC offices across the 36 states and the FCT. The National Commissioner said security agencies are also manning strategic INEC offices in local government areas in the state. He explained that the Commission would replace damaged equipment following attacks on its offices as soon as possible. The People's Democratic Party, PDP running mate Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Director General of PDP Presidential Campaign Organization Governor Aminu Tambuwal, former Governor of Jigawa State Sule Lamido, and other leaders of the party on Saturday met with former President Olusegun Obasanjo at his residence in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Other members of the team who visited Obasanjo include former Governor of Osun State, Olagunsoye Oyinlola, former Cross River State Governor Laili Moke, and Oyewole Fasawe. Now, speaking after about 2-hour closed-door session, Tambuwal said the team was in Abeokuta to pay usual respect and to continue to consult the former president on matters of national interest. Now, Tambuwal hinted that the party was expecting arousing a large crowd at the Lagos State presidential campaign in Lagos on Monday. Moving on, 1 week after he was sworn in as the 6th governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke has taken some actions that set tongues wagging. While some perceive Adeleke's decision as politically motivated and vindictive, many applauded him for his desire to correct the mistakes of his predecessors. Hamid Oyegbade chronicles the governor's first week in office in this report.
During his swearing in at the Oshogbo City Stadium on Sunday, November 27, the new governor, Ademola Adeleke, who claimed to be a Muslim, did not hold the Holy Quran as he merely raised up his right hand. Adeleke delivered a lengthy maiden address and announced a reversal of some state policies, including the change of the name of the state from the state of Osun to Osun State, nullification of recent appointment of some civil servants and 3 traditional rulers, namely the Are of Ire, the Akirun of Ikirun, and the Owa of Igbajo. Same day, Adeleke appointed a former local government chairman from his hometown, Ede, Kazim Akinleye, as his chief of staff. Also, he appointed another former local government chairman from Oshogbo, Teslim Igbalaye, as the secretary to the state government. The governor appointed Rashid Olawale, the Iwo-born Abuja-based journalist, as his chief press secretary. On Monday, the governor was in office where he signed 6 executive orders to back up his actions. He suspended the chairman and members of the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission and ordered senior career officers to take charge at the local government councils across the state. The rest of the week was dominated by accusation and counter-accusation between Adeleke's team and that of his predecessor, Adegboyega Oyetola, on the debt profile of the state. On Friday, Adeleke stormed the Oshogbo Central Mosque where he observed Jumat service, but residents were wondering why the governor did not hold the Holy Quran during his swearing-in. Adeleke has since become the talk of town, as many people see his actions as politically motivated and vindictive, while others said his decisions were okay.
My opinion is that I think he's getting it right, so that there will be no problem in any turn, so that there will be peace all over the state. That is what I think that he's trying to do. So we pray for him that Almighty God will continue to uphold him.
Sacking of 12,000 workers, right? That one is spot on as well, because in the first place, I don't think the previous administration was supposed to bring those people on board in the first place. So I think the man is doing well, and I believe we will enjoy his reign in Osun.
The new government will be peaceful. It pleased God to give him to us as governor. We feel relieved and we hope to make it under the current administration.
Okay, about the new government, actually I can't say if it is good or not, because I don't really know much about politics. All I know is as far as everywhere is peaceful and it's okay for the people, then the government is good. But if it is otherwise, then I will say it is not good. That's all.
Before this action is taken, maybe I send some other people to investigate and see that what the other opponents doing is not good. That's all. I cannot say what is doing is good, what is doing people will like it or not, people will not like it. It's their own conception. That's all.
Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has been accused of failing to probe the missing ecological funds at all levels. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, which made the allegation, also filed a lawsuit against the president. Joined in the suit as respondents are the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. In a statement on Sunday, SERAP Deputy Director Kolaolu Oluwadare said the decision to file a lawsuit followed the failure to probe the spending of trillions of ecological funds by governments at all levels, federal, state, and local governments from 2001 to date, and to ensure the prosecution of suspected perpetrators of corruption and mismanagement of public funds. According to him, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, recently said that no fewer than 600 persons died and 1.3 million were rendered homeless as a result of the floods that ravaged most states across the country, with destruction of properties worth billions. In the suit, a number filed last week at the Federal High Court, Lagos, SERAP is asking the court to direct and compel President Buhari to promptly and thoroughly investigate the spending of ecological fund by governments at federal, state, and local government levels from 2001 to date. The rights group also wants the courts to direct and compel President Buhari to ensure that suspected perpetrators of corruption and mismanagement of trillions of ecological funds are promptly brought to justice and any missing public funds fully recovered. No date has been fixed for the hearing of the suit. You're watching News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up, why Jos residents patronize herbal medicine despite warnings. Details of this story after the break. Stay with us.
As part of security measures in place to ensure a secure resumption of the Abuja-Kaduna train route, the federal government has directed that the use of the National Identity Number, NIN, is now compulsory for passenger profiling when boarding the Abuja-Kaduna train service. All intending train passengers are to note the new ticketing guidelines. Existing profile owners are required to update their profiles with their NIN. Failure to update will reflect the profile as unverified. Where a profile is not verified, the intending passenger will not be able to purchase a ticket. All new profile registration will now require passengers to include their NIN. All tickets for minor passengers must be bought by an adult. Where the minor has no NIN, the minor passenger's ticket will reflect the NIN of the adult making the purchase. However, only the minor passenger's name will reflect on the ticket and will be verified during the ID check process. It is dangerous to use your NIN to purchase tickets for unknown persons. This may lead to criminal prosecution. Passengers are advised to conduct themselves orderly and avoid altercation with NRC and security officials, as defaulters will be duly prosecuted and severely punished. For NIN, simply dial *346# on your mobile phone and follow the prompts. This message is from the Nigerian Railway Corporation.
Ba a iya sutura da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets ko kuma ku wadata falonku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshinku kuwa za ku iya saka manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture, mun zagaye ko ina.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
That's great.
back. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust Television. Our top stories. Bandits shoot Imam, abduct worshippers in Katsina Mosque. Serap sues President Buhari, alleges failure to probe missing ecological funds. Moving on, primary healthcare development is one of the critical aspects of human need. This is why stakeholders often organize outreaches to parts of the country where there is a gap in government's provision of quality healthcare. Beneficiaries of the A Day Free Medical Outreach in Fufuri local government are grateful for the intervention, which catered to people suffering from different diseases. Silas Dawal has more.
As an important element of national security, public health not only functions to provide adequate and timely medical care, but also track, monitor and control disease outbreak. To this end, stakeholders said all hands are required to be on deck towards smoothing the process of accessing healthcare for the less privileged in the community.
For the surgical outreaches, we intend to carry out surgeries, hyenopharies, that's those with hernia, appendectomies, those with appendicitis, myomectomies, that's in women that have fibroids, then in children, sometimes we also do hyenotomies, hyenopharies. Then lipoma, sometimes you have abnormal growth in people that have stayed for long in their life. So we intend to do this kind of medium or intermediate surgeries in them. So
Beneficiaries of the free medical outreach, who are mostly vulnerable in community, commended the team for coming to their aid, saying they will forever remain grateful. I have never received this kind of assistance in my entire history. I thank the team for coming to our aid, and of course, those who supported them to render these services for us. I was diagnosed, treated, and given some medicine for free. As you can see, I'm recuperating. I have not paid any kobo for that. Stakeholders in the area vow to continue assisting vulnerable and the less privileged to gain access to quality healthcare services.
They are all about here for medical outfit. So they are here on behalf of the 7 local government we have in our zone, that is the central zone. So they choose Fufore. So we are very happy that they have chosen Fufore for their own medical outfit. So that is why we are giving them 100% support, because they are here to see our people, to treat our people, to see how we are going to tackle the problem facing our people.
This free medical outreach will no doubt have gone a long way to alleviate the suffering faced by these beneficiaries. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
Medical experts have continued to warn citizens against indiscriminate use of traditional remedies, particularly because of the absence of scientific research into pharmaceutical components of such herbal concoctions. Some residents, however, remain firm in their convictions that the indigenous medicine is effective if taken in appropriate doses. Ado Musa completes the story.
Some residents find it hard to modify beliefs they have held onto for so long, which is why they patronize herbs not because they are superior to Western drugs, but because traditional medicine has over time cured their ailments. Users of herbs argue that Western medicine only reduces pain of some ailment, but herbs are often effective in healing the diseases completely. Some of these residents have come to collect herbs from this Jos herbal doctor. I came to collect medicine for malaria and typhoid. We come here because people enjoy his herbs. The herbs are very effective. We have noticed that the traditional medicine cures illness completely, but the modern one only subsides the disease. I came to collect medicine for my child. He was unconscious. We went to a hospital. The doctor said they couldn't identify any problem. But when we came here and collected some herbs, we are beginning to see changes in the child. Malam Hassan Ahmad is the herbal doctor in the area, said he has been giving medicine for different kinds of ailments for over 2 decades. There are different kinds of medicine here. Whichever problem you come with, by the special grace of God, we will give you the medicine to cure them. People have seen the result of taking traditional medicine because it is reliable. I give medicine for Lassa, malaria, cancer, hepatitis, among others. Medical experts have warned that the recent increase in organ failure in Nigeria is as a result of indiscriminate use of unregulated concoctions, many of which lay claim to healing all sorts of ailments. Nevertheless, these residents are ready to risk it because they believe that the traditional herbs were effective if properly used. They even claim that some professional doctors sometimes patronize the traditional herbs for some diseases. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Nigerians, especially low-income earners who depend on kerosene as a major source of fuel for cooking, are unhappy with the recent hike in the price of the product. With the rising cost of kerosene and cooking gas, people are now constrained to use firewood or charcoal to cook their food since they cannot afford gas or kerosene. Silas Law takes a look at the impact of the rising cost of the commodity. The rising cost of the commodity will have, on the environment. His report.
Environmentalists have warned that the country may experience a high level of deforestation, leading to severe climate change if nothing is done to bring down the prices of liquefied petroleum gas, better known as cooking gas and kerosene. It would seem that the prices of cooking gas and kerosene have soared out of the reach of citizens, and the impact is being felt by the highly vulnerable homes in the country, especially those in rural communities and low-income earners who depend on kerosene as a major source of fuel for cooking.
That cooking gas is about 10,000 plus for 12 kg is about 10,000 naira, and kerosene, I've even forgot how to use kerosene again because at first they were competing with cooking gas, and I stopped it. And the effect on the environment is this: fire hazard is one, because people are using firewood, cutting down trees and so on. It is not good for our environment. It will cause pollution, smoke, and those who are having asthma is increasing because as a result of the pollution in the atmosphere.
The price of the commodity in most of the filling stations in Adamawa is 750 and 767 per litre, and that price hike has resulted in decreased patronage from residents. It is indeed a difficult time already for Nigerians, as stakeholders acknowledge that the average Nigerian may not be able to afford the new prices of gas and kerosene, but still have to cook their food to survive.
Seriously, women were suffering. Somebody like me, I will talk about myself in particular. I've never used firewood, but this time around, we all have to learn how to manage. We use firewood, even the ordinary coal that is very cheap, as cheap as 700 per bag. Now is 3,000. Truly, we are suffering. Now it's not everybody that can now afford the gas. So you can imagine the life we are now going through.
And the kerosene are in the increase. But as mothers, we are economical. We make sure that we utilize the little resources we have, because we want to make sure things are easy for us, because all the hardship is on women, because we have children to cater for, and even our husband, we cater for them. We help them a lot.
It is also causing more problem concerning food items in the market. Everything has skyrocketed because fuel is very expensive and every other thing. So one thing is tied towards the other. So actually our markets, our economy is horrible. And Everybody is complaining.
Nigeria, like most parts of the world, has been dealing with soaring energy prices, including diesel, except petrol, which is still tightly regulated in the country. From Yola, Silas Lowen, Trust TV News.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're still watching News on Trust Television. It's now time for us to take a look at business news as put together in our studio.
Major oil-producing countries led by Saudi Arabia and Russia agreed Sunday to maintain their current output levels in a climate and uncertainty and ahead of fresh sanctions against Moscow coming into force next week. the representatives of 13 members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, led by Riyadh, and their 10 allies, headed by Moscow, decided to stick to their course agreed in October of a production cut of 2 million barrels per day until the end of 2023. In a statement, OPEC described its October decision to cut as one purely driven by market considerations, adding that it had been the necessary and the right course of action towards stabilizing global oil markets. As the federal government coordinates large-scale reforms in the power sector, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, which is one of the agencies implementing these reforms, has acquired 22 brand-new power transformers and other heavy-duty equipment to boost power grid. Reports say the 22 brand-new power transformers, spare parts, and critical equipment were all delivered to the TCN Central Store in Ojo, Lagos recently. As more of them arrive at Lagos Port for onward delivery to the store, the equipment are to be installed in various ongoing project sites nationwide, while others will serve as spares. But beyond this, experts in power sector have called for immediate investment in the distribution companies Discos and generation companies Gencos to match power transmissions. The federal government has ordered banks and telecommunication companies to conduct environmental audits in their various domains to safeguard the environment and reduce toxic waste from the organizations. The Director General, National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NISRA, Aliyu Jauro, disclosed this in Abuja. Jauro said banks use a lot of electronics such as computers, ATM machines, generators, and printers, among others. There was waste of these items. He said toxic from the affected organization has been on the increase, noting that when such water is consumed by humans or animals, it becomes a serious disaster. That's the business news. I am Kabir Lawal.
Well, there you go. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari on Sunday took part in the official groundbreaking ceremony of the new headquarters building of the Economic Commission of West African States, ECOWAS, in Lugbe, Abuja. The building, which is set to be named the Eye of West Africa when it is completed, hopefully in the next 26 months, is to be constructed by China. Kayinde Amodu reports.
The Eye of West Africa has been on the drawing board since the 10th of July 2019, when ECOWAS and the People's Republic of China signed an implementation agreement. The building will house the three major ECOWAS institutions, namely the ECOWAS Commission, the Community Court of Justice, and the Parliament.
In the last 3 decades, the operational activities of ECOWAS has expanded, particularly since the revision of the treaty in 1993 and the expansion of the mandate of our organization. Operating from these buildings has brought about many operational, financial, and logistical challenges. It was therefore considered necessary to have a modern, fit-for-purpose office accommodation that will enable the Commission to accommodate all its staff in one location.
Obviously, West African leaders are delighted not only with the diplomatic gift from China, but with what it will represent when completed.
The new complex will represent the unity and brotherhood of the member states, as well as signify a recommitment to process and regional integration. It will be our home and a regional rallying point.
China says to sponsor and construct the new ECOWAS headquarters is a vivid reflection of its support to the work of the sub-regional body.
I am confident that this project will become a milestone for the development of West Africa. This building demonstrates China's sincere aspiration and resolved determination to support the unity, peace, and development of Africa.
It is not the first time China is sponsoring the building of the headquarters of a regional body in Africa. as it was responsible for the construction of the Africa Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It demonstrates the rising profile of China in Africa and is not likely to sit well with Western nations. From the federal capital, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed regret that some gains achieved in West Africa in fully democratizing the governance space have been threatened by unconstitutional change of government, as witnessed in Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea. He spoke on Sunday in Abuja at the 62nd Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Kehinde Amodu again reports.
A new management team is taking over at the ECOWAS Commission, led by Dr. Omar Aliu Toure. It is coming in as challenges of insecurity, unconstitutional change of government, and economic dislocations have ravaged the sub-region. The President of Nigeria is particular about setbacks to efforts of ECOWAS leaders towards deepening democracy in the sub-region. He's therefore calling on the new management team at ECOWAS to complete and review harmonization of ongoing reforms aimed at strengthening the sub-regional body.
Regrettably, some of our gains, especially in fully demonstrating our governance space, has faced and continued to face severe challenges from constitutional and constitutional change of governments as witnessed in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea. The Commission must therefore work more assiduously to complete the review and harmonization of the protocols on good governance and democracy, as this would enable our sub-region to sustain our collective efforts to deepen not only democracy, but our dividends through good governance to the community citizens.
The new president of the ECOWAS Commission agrees that things have not been so bad in the West African sub-region. He insists that the response to these challenges cannot be business as usual.
Sources of insecurity in the region continue to grow, from terrorism and violent extremism to unconstitutional change of government, organized crimes, ecological crisis, and fake news. Terrorism in particular, Excellencies, has continued to threaten our region, spreading from the Sahel to the coastal states. Equally, the spate of coup d'etats and counter-coup d'etats continues to reverse the democratic gains made over the years. Indeed, Excellencies, never before has our region been faced with so many difficulties at the same time.
It is the 8th summit Nigeria has hosted under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, and it may be the last, as the country winds down to elections early next year. From the federal capital, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
And on the foreign scene, dozens of demonstrators angry over worsening economic conditions in Syria stormed the governor's office in the southern city of Sweda and set fire to parts of the building amid a heavy exchange of gunfire. Early on Sunday, more than 200 people gathered around the building in the center of the Druze majority city, chanting slogans calling for the overthrow of President Bashir al-Assad as prices surge and economic hardship worsens. Syrian state media said outlaws rushed into the governor's office and burned files and official papers. 3 witnesses said the governor was not in the building, which was vacated before protesters bursting. And in sports, a goal for Olivier Giroud and 2 for Kylian Mbappe saw France beat Poland 3-1 to qualify for the quarterfinals of the World Cup in Qatar. With his point, Giroud became France's highest scorer at 52 goals as France dominated the game on Sunday at Al Thumama Stadium. Now, they took command of the match from the start, looking to find space behind the Polish defense, but Mbappe's first forays failed to lead to clear chances. French keeper Hugo Lloris made his 142nd appearance and is now tied with Lilian Thuram as France's most capped player. His experience mattered when he made a superb quick save to deny Peter Zelensky. Neymar is available for Brazil's World Cup last 16 match against South Korea on Monday, coach Tite has confirmed. The forward missed Brazil's last 2 group games after sustaining ligament damage in his right ankle in the opening match against Serbia. Brazil, one of the pre-tournament favorites, qualified for the knockout stage with a game to spare and topped Group G despite defeat by Cameroon. The Paris Saint-Germain star was replaced in 80th minute of his nation's 2-0 win over Serbia after a heavy tackle by Nikola Milokovic, and later described the injury as one of the hardest moments of his career. Neymar wrote on Instagram, "Nothing in my life came easy and I've always had to work for my dreams and goals." Former Formula One driver Patrick Tambay has died aged 73. The Frenchman, whose teams included McLaren, Ferrari and Renault, won 2 Grand Prix in a career of 114 race starts stretching from 1977 to 1986. Tambay, who had been suffering from Parkinson's disease, was most famous for his association with Ferrari. Tambay made his debut for the team at the Dutch Grand Prix alongside Pironi, whose victory at Zandvoort confirmed his status as championship favorite. He was a leading member of a generation of top French F1 drivers that included the likes of Alain Prost, René Arnoux, Didier Pironi and Jacques Lafayette. Tambay was most famous for his emotional season and a half with Ferrari in 1982 and 1983, and the way his career was intertwined with his friend, the legendary Gilles Villeneuve. Well, before we go, take a look at this feature.
Snail is a delicacy in French cuisine. Statistics show that 300 million snails are consumed in France every year. Snails have played an integrated part in French cuisine for hundreds of years. The French delicacy is now often served at Chinese dining tables, which has driven the growth of the snail industry.
In a small township in Jiaxing, the local people started breeding snails 35 years ago, in 1987. Today we are visiting a leading company in producing and processing snails in Yuxin Township, Jiaxing City, East China's Zhejiang Province. And this company has taken up 70% of the market share in Chinese market.
目前我们公司的产品面向全国消费市场。近几年，我们公司蜗牛产品的销售以每年10%的速度在增长，去年产值达到了7100多万元。我们相信，随着中国消费者对蜗牛产品的接受程度不断提高，未来的市场前景将无比广阔。目前，我们带动了全国7省1市的500多户农户进行家庭式养殖。我们会进行技术指导，帮助农户做到标准化、订单式养殖，符合要求的蜗牛我们都统一收购。 保障农民的收益。我们公司高度重视食品安全、标准化生产和品控，与许多中餐厅和西餐厅连锁企业都保持着长期而又稳定的合作。从农田到餐桌，我们实现了品质和价值的跨越，也希望带动周边乃至全国的蜗牛养殖户一起走向共同富裕。
Well, there you go, and that's it on News Hour for tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. From myself and the production team, do have a good night.